Small farms have been hit hard, with scores of them going out of business as big ag gets bigger. For African Americans, it's even more dire. In the last 100 years, they've lost almost 90% of their acreage, an estimated $326 billion worth of land. But in a little town in Texas, one woman has taken a small business and found a way to compete.
This saddle weighs about 50 pounds.
Yeah, it's heavy.
Oh!
Go, girl.
Marketing maven Kimberly Radcliffe never thought she'd trade in the big city for Texas ranch life.
How much land do you have?
This is about 1,100 acres here. There we go.
But she did, joining the family business here at the Caney Creek Ranch.
My dad really believed rural America was education.
I grew up messing with cows. And some things get in your blood, and it was kind of in my blood.
But Wesley Radcliffe had already left country living to become a NASA rocket scientist and an IBM executive in New York before giving it all up 23 years ago to buy this place in Freestone, Texas.
I've had people tell me I was crazy when I told them that I was going to leave IBM at the time and buy me a ranch. They said, but you don't have to do that no more. You have an education. I said, well, I'll use that same education that I have on the cattle.
He bought the cattle ranch in a county with the second largest number of black-owned farms in the country, a community founded on the idea that land builds generational wealth. His sons were into it, but
I did not think my daughter would ever be interested in the ranching business.
Did you ever think you were going to come back?
I did not. I was like, the big city's what I wanted. I liked the fast pace. And I think what became a reality is when my dad bought this place here, because I realized this is an investment.
Did you need her?
To be honest, no.
You didn't?
I didn't need her. However, the paperwork side of it, I didn't like a whole lot. And that's what the role I wanted her to play for me.
she had a few other ideas, like expanding the business into meat processing, where she saw more growth and profitability. That's when Radcliffe Premium Meats was born, a company that sells not just their own sustainable products, but hundreds of pounds of meat sourced and shipped from neighboring ranchers to cities across the U.S.
I became this model for my community. So that's when I originally started doing nonprofit work, really trying to figure out what their needs were. The biggest barrier is marketing.
With her corporate marketing experience and additional education in ranch management, she offered her neighbors and partners strategies used by larger companies in agriculture, bridging what she described as a disconnect in the industry.
Why do you think there's that disparate disconnect?
I think mainly because they're in their own world, right? You're looking at numbers, you're looking at figures, but you're not getting the information from someone that's living it every day, and it's their livelihood.
On the price of beef.
On the price of beef, on the price of corn going into my cattle, on the price of fertilizer, on the price of every input that's out there that's driving the end product that's going to consumers.
Especially in an economy where the price of those farm goods is skyrocketing.
What is causing the volatility in the beef industry or the cattle industry?
It's twofold. I think some people are going back to these farmer to table type settings. So that's one change, but that's a niche.
The other, centralization through the ag industry's big three: Cargill, Tyson, and JBS.
So anyone that owns a far greater share of the industry are going to have some input on how the market's driven. For me, is how can I create this smaller industry now that's centralized right here, where I am buying my cattle here, I'm buying my grain here, I am processing my cattle here, I'm employing people here. I'm not saying I'm competing with them, but creating a new system is what I see how it's going to start working in this world.
She is a trailblazer.
That's why she gathers with fellow farmers at a time when resources are growing more scarce for underserved communities. Vital after a century's worth of discrimination has kept third-generation ranchers like Guy Manning playing catch-up.
I've been in places where the application was given to me, and when they found out I was a minority rancher or farmer, whatever they may call it, they discarded it. And we've even gotten in suits over that, and was nothing ever done. And this is why administrations are so important. I'm talking about on a national and a state level to farmers and ranchers of color.
Still, Ratcliffe is determined.
But what sets me apart is what I'm building. I am building a system that's going to keep this community together.
Marbling on these steaks is just beautiful.
Building direct partnerships with heavy hitters like the Hyatt Regency.
This is where our magic happens.
And pitching small business owners too, like former NFL player turned chef Tobias Dorzen.
So the cows are coming from people you know, or are you guys breeding the cows on?
I'm associated with them. The key thing about us is just the way we raise them.
Yep.
It's pasture raised, it's farm raised.
Woo! It's been quite the ride for this youngest child who now runs the family business.
So, are you proud of your daughter?
Most times, until we start arguing, I'm not proud of it.
Teaching her old dad some new tricks.
No, I am proud of my daughter. I am very proud of my daughter.
We all want this to be generational. I always tell people, I want to be here 100 years and I want to see this operation thriving.
And her goal, too, is also to source her meats for local food banks, schools. She's helped to feed as many as 15,000 people a month.
Those direct partnerships are so important for these communities and to protect farmers. The average age of a farmer is about 58 years old.
I know.
So it's growing. So kudos to her.
Kudos indeed.
Great piece.